Writer's Quiet Night in 1930s Paris. Chapter 1. Arriving home through the Paris rain. You step off the number 4 omnibus at the corner of Boulevard Saint-Germain. The gentle patter of rain kisses your shoulders as you walk slowly down the narrow cobblestone street. Your leather satchel, worn soft from years of carrying manuscripts and books, hangs comfortably at your side. The gas lamps flicker warmly in the evening mist, casting golden circles of light that dance on the wet stones beneath your feet. You breathe in deeply. The air carries the scent of fresh bread from the boulangerie on the corner, mixed with the earthy smell of rain-soaked leaves from the plane trees lining the street. Your apartment building stands before you like an old friend, its cream-colored stone facade darkened by the gentle rain. The wrought iron balconies gleam with tiny droplets, each one catching the lamplight like scattered diamonds. You pause for a moment, listening to the soft symphony of rain on cobblestones, rain on slate rooftops, rain on the leaves of the chestnut trees. The heavy wooden door opens with a familiar creak. You step into the warm vestibule where the scent of beeswax polish mingles with the faint aroma of pipe tobacco from Monsieur Dubois' apartment on the first floor. The marble floors, worn smooth by decades of footsteps, reflect the soft glow of the single electric bulb hanging from the ceiling. You climb the narrow stairs slowly, savoring each step. The wooden banister feels smooth and cool beneath your palm, polished by countless hands over the years. On the second landing, you pass Madame Rousseau's door. From within comes the gentle sound of her radio, playing a soft waltz, the music barely audible through the thick wooden door. The third flight of stairs leads to your sanctuary. Your footsteps create a gentle rhythm on the worn wooden steps. The hallway is quiet now, filled only with the distant sound of rain against the windows at the end of the corridor. You reach into your coat pocket and withdraw your key, feeling its familiar weight in your palm. The lock turns with a soft click. You push open the door and step into your small apartment. The air inside is cool and still, carrying the faint scent of ink and paper, the lingering aroma of this morning's coffee, and something else, something uniquely yours, the smell of words and stories and quiet contemplation. You set your satchel gently on the small table by the door. The leather makes a soft whisper as it settles. You remove your damp coat, hanging it on the wooden peg behind the door. The fabric releases tiny droplets that catch the dim light filtering through your lace curtains. Your apartment is modest but perfect. A single room with tall windows overlooking the street. A small alcove for your bed. A tiny kitchen with a window facing the courtyard. The walls are lined with books, hundreds of them, their spines creating a tapestry of colors and textures. Some are leather-bound classics, others are newer volumes with bright paper covers. All of them old friends waiting patiently for your return. You move to the window and look out at the rain-softened street below. The gas lamps create pools of amber light, and you can see other windows glowing warmly in the buildings across the way. In one window, a woman moves about her kitchen, preparing dinner. In another, a man reads a newspaper while a cat sleeps on his lap. These small glimpses of other lives fill you with a gentle contentment. The rain continues its soft percussion on your windows. Each drop creates a tiny stream that trickles down the glass, distorting the view of the street below into something dreamlike, almost impressionistic. You watch the water trace random patterns, like nature's own form of writing, telling stories in a language only the rain understands. You kick off your shoes, feeling the cool wooden floor beneath your stockinged feet. The boards are old and slightly uneven, worn smooth by decades of footsteps, but they feel solid and welcoming. You pad softly across the room, your footsteps making barely a whisper on the wood. The small Persian rug in the center of the room cushions your steps. Its faded colors tell stories of distant places, of markets filled with spices and silk, of hands that wove it with care and patience. You bought it from an antique dealer in the Marché aux Puces, drawn to its gentle beauty and the way it seemed to make any space feel like home. You move to your writing desk, positioned perfectly by the window to catch the morning light. The desk is old mahogany, its surface marked with the gentle scars of years of use. Ring stains from countless cups of coffee and tea, ink stains from late-night writing sessions, small scratches from pen nibs and paper clips. Each mark a memory, a moment in the life of words. Your typewriter sits silently on the desk, a faithful Underwood No. 5 that has been your companion for nearly a decade. Its black keys gleam softly in the dim light, each letter worn smooth by your fingers. Beside it, a stack of white paper waits patiently, fresh sheets ready to receive whatever words might come tonight. You light the small lamp on your desk. The warm glow immediately makes the space feel more intimate, more focused. The circle of light creates a boundary between the world outside and this sacred space where words are born. You adjust the shades slightly, positioning it so the light falls perfectly on your writing surface. The rain outside has settled into a steady rhythm now. Not heavy, but persistent and soothing. It's the kind of rain that makes you grateful to be inside, warm and dry, with nowhere to go and nothing urgent to do. The sound is hypnotic, a natural white noise that seems to wash away the concerns of the day. You sit in your writing chair, a comfortable wooden chair with a worn velvet cushion that has molded itself to your body over the years. The arms are smooth from the touch of your hands, and the back provides just the right support for long writing sessions. This chair has been witness to countless stories, countless late nights, countless moments of inspiration and frustration. The view from your window is perfect for a writer. Not too interesting as to distract, but not so dull as to depress. The street below carries just enough life to remind you that you're part of a larger world, while being quiet enough to allow for concentration. During the day, you can watch the baker arrive before dawn, the shopkeepers opening their doors, the children walking to school, the familiar rhythm of neighborhood life. But now, in the evening rain, everything is softened, made gentle, made peaceful. The harsh edges of the day are smoothed away by the water falling from the sky. The street lamps blur into impressionistic smudges of light, and the sounds of the city are muffled and distant. The view from your window is perfect for a writer. Not too interesting as to distract, but not so dull as to depress. The street below carries just enough life to remind you that you're part of a larger world, while being quiet enough to allow for concentration. During the day, you can watch the baker arrive before dawn, the shopkeepers opening their doors, the children walking to school, the familiar rhythm of neighborhood life. But now, in the evening rain, everything is softened, made gentle, made peaceful. The harsh edges of the day are smoothed away by the water falling from the sky. The street lamps blur into impressionistic smudges of light, and the sounds of the city are muffled and distant. You brew a pot of tea, choosing a gentle blend that Madame Chen recommended from her shop on Rue des Martyrs. The leaves unfurl slowly in the hot water, releasing their essence in soft, fragrant clouds. You watch the process with the fascination of someone who understands that the simplest rituals can be the most profound. The tea steeps while you arrange your writing materials. You sharpen 2 pencils, though you rarely use them, preferring the decisive click of typewriter keys. But pencils are for thinking, for sketching ideas, for those moments when the words need to flow more organically than a typewriter allows. You pour the tea into your favorite cup, a delicate china cup with tiny painted roses that your grandmother gave you. The tea is golden amber, fragrant with hints of bergamot and lavender. You cradle the cup in your hands, feeling its warmth seep into your palms, breathing in the aromatic steam. The rain continues its gentle conversation with the windows, each drop a word, each stream a sentence, each pattern a story. You find yourself listening not just to the sound, but to the rhythm, the way it speeds and slows, the way it creates pauses and emphases, like a master storyteller, knowing exactly when to speak and when to let silence carry the meaning. Your apartment feels like a ship in this gentle storm, safe and secure, riding the waves of rain and wind with steady confidence. The walls seem to pulse gently with the rhythm of your breathing, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the rhythm of the rain. Everything is in harmony. Everything is as it should be. You sip your tea slowly, letting the warmth spread through your body, feeling the tension of the day dissolve like sugar in hot water. Your shoulders relax. Your breathing deepens. Your mind begins to quiet. The chatter of daily concerns fades away, replaced by the gentle white noise of rain and the soft ticking of your mantel clock. The lamplight creates a golden circle around your writing desk, and you feel drawn to it like a moth to flame. But this is not a destructive attraction. This is the pull of purpose, the magnetic force that draws writers to their craft. You know that within that circle of light, magic can happen, words can be born, stories can take their first breaths. You finish your tea, setting the cup gently on its saucer. The small ceramic sound is pleasant, musical, like a tiny bell, marking the end of one moment and the beginning of another. You stretch gently, feeling your muscles lengthen and release, preparing your body for the quiet work ahead. The rain outside seems to approve of your preparations. It continues its soft encouragement, its gentle applause against the windows. You smile slightly, feeling connected to this elemental force, this life-giving water that nourishes not just the earth, but the soul. You stand and move to the window one more time, pressing your palm against the cool glass. The rain has washed the world clean, made it fresh and new again. Tomorrow will bring its own challenges, its own opportunities. But tonight is yours, a gift of time and solitude and the infinite possibility of words waiting to be written. The street below is nearly empty now. Just the occasional figure hurrying through the rain, their footsteps echoing off the wet stones. You watch one person pass under the lamplight, their umbrella glistening, their form quickly disappearing into the soft darkness beyond the circle of light. We are all just passing through, you think, all of us brief visitors in this eternal rain. You return to your writing chair, settling into its familiar embrace. The desk lamp casts its warm glow on the blank paper, and you can almost see the words waiting there, invisible but present, ready to be discovered rather than created. Writing, you know, is much about finding as it is about making, about listening for the words that already exist in the space between silence and sound. The rain continues, steady and sure, a metronome for the evening's work. You place your hands on the typewriter keys, feeling their familiar texture, their patient willingness to transform thought into letter, letter into word. The machine waits, loyal and ready, your partner in the ancient dance of storytelling. You close your eyes for a moment, listening to the rain, feeling the warmth of the lamp on your face, breathing in the scent of paper and ink and possibility. Your body relaxes completely, your mind clears, and you feel yourself settling into that magical space where stories live, where they wait patiently for someone to give them voice. The evening stretches ahead like a blank page, full of potential, full of promise. You know that whatever words come tonight, they will be born from this perfect moment, this harmony of rain and lamplight and solitude. You smile softly, feeling blessed to be here, to be present, to be ready for whatever story wants to tell itself through your fingers. Your eyelids grow heavy in the warm lamplight. The gentle rhythm of rain on windows creates a lullaby that seeps into your bones. You feel yourself drifting, like a leaf on a gentle stream, carried by the soft currents of evening toward the peaceful shores of sleep. The rain whispers its ancient songs, and you drift into a deep, restful sleep. Chapter 2. Lighting the lamp and preparing the writing desk. You wake gently, as if emerging from water, your consciousness rising slowly through layers of peaceful dreams. The rain has softened to the merest whisper against your windows, but gentle percussion that seems to come from very far away. You blink slowly, your eyes adjusting to the dim light filtering through the lace curtains. For a moment, you lie still, feeling the weight of your body against the mattress, the cool air on your face, the distant sound of Paris settling into its evening rhythm. Your small apartment feels like a cocoon, protective and warm, separate from the world outside, but somehow connected to its gentle pulse. You rise slowly, your feet finding the cool wooden floor. The boards creak softly under your weight, a familiar sound that speaks of home and comfort and countless mornings just like this one. You pad quietly to the window, drawn by the soft light and the gentle sound of rain on stone. The street below is transformed by the early evening. The gas lamps have been lit, creating pools of golden light that reflect in the wet cobblestones. The rain has washed everything clean, made it fresh and new, and the air through the slightly open window carries the scent of wet earth and growing things. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with the clean, rain-washed air. There's something about Paris in the rain that speaks to the soul. Something about the way the water softens the harsh edges of the city, makes it gentler, more forgiving, more beautiful. You watch a few drops trace their way down the window glass, each one following its own path, creating temporary rivers that catch and scatter the lamplight. Your writing desk calls to you, positioned perfectly to catch the changing light throughout the day. During the morning hours, it basks in the golden sunlight that streams through the east-facing windows. By afternoon, the light becomes softer, more diffused, perfect for the quiet work of revision and editing. And now, in the evening, it waits patiently for the warm glow of the desk lamp to transform it into an island of creativity in the gentle darkness. You move to the desk slowly, your fingers trailing along its edge. The mahogany surface is smooth and warm, worn by years of use, but still strong, still solid. This desk has been witness to countless stories, countless late nights, countless moments of inspiration and struggle. It holds the memory of every word written upon it, every dream committed to paper, every story that found its voice in the circle of lamplight. The lamp sits quietly in the corner of the desk, waiting. It's a simple thing. Brass base with a green glass shade, but it has been your companion for years. The metal has developed a gentle patina, a soft glow that speaks of age and use and faithful service. You reach for the small chain that hangs from the socket, your fingers finding it without looking, muscle memory guiding you through this familiar ritual. You pull the chain, and the lamp awakens with a gentle click. The warm yellow light fills the green glass shade, casting a circle of illumination on the desk surface. Immediately, the space is transformed, made intimate, made sacred. The light seems to push back the evening shadows, creating a boundary between the world of daily concerns and this special place where words are born. The typewriter sits waiting, your faithful Underwood number 5. Its black keys gleaming softly in the new light. You run your fingers gently over the keys, feeling their familiar texture, their patient readiness. Each key is slightly different, worn by your particular touch, shaped by the countless stories they've helped bring to life. The A key is slightly more worn than the others. The E shows the marks of frequent use. The spacebar bears the gentle impression of your thumbs. You adjust the lampshade slightly, positioning it so the light falls perfectly on the writing surface. The angle must be just right, not too bright as to create harsh shadows, not too dim as to strain your eyes. This is a ritual as important as any, the careful preparation of the space where magic will hopefully occur. The stack of white paper sits neatly beside the typewriter, fresh sheets waiting to receive whatever words might come. You touch the top sheet gently, feeling its smooth surface, its readiness, its infinite potential. Each blank page is a doorway, a portal to worlds that don't yet exist, stories that are waiting to be discovered rather than created. You roll a fresh sheet into the typewriter, the paper feeding smoothly through the guides, taking its place with a soft whisper. The blank page looks back at you, patient and expectant, ready to be transformed from emptiness into story, from silence into voice. You adjust the margins, setting them just so, creating the perfect frame for whatever words might emerge. The rain continues its gentle conversation with the windows, a soft percussion that seems to encourage contemplation. You find yourself listening not just to the sound, but to the rhythm, the way it creates natural pauses, natural emphases, like a master storyteller who knows exactly when to speak and when to let silence carry the meaning. You reach for your fountain pen, A gift from your publisher after your first successful novel. The pen feels substantial in your hand, well-balanced and comfortable, an extension of your thoughts and feelings. You unscrew the cap slowly, revealing the gold nib that has faithfully translated your thoughts into words for years. The ink is a deep blue-black, the color of midnight skies, of deep water, of the spaces between words where meaning lives. You test the pen on a scrap of paper, watching the ink flow smoothly from the nib. The line is clean and sure, ready for whatever words might come. There's something deeply satisfying about the physical act of writing, the way the pen moves across the paper, the way thoughts become visible, the way the blank page slowly fills with meaning. Your notebook lies open beside the typewriter, its pages filled with observations, fragments of conversation, ideas for stories, the raw material from which finished works are born. You flip through the pages slowly, reading bits and pieces, feeling the thoughts and inspirations of previous days wash over you like gentle waves. Here, a description of the way morning light falls across the courtyard. There, a snatch of conversation overheard in a cafe. On another page, a character sketch of the old woman who sells flowers on the corner. Each entry is a seed, a potential story waiting to grow, given the right conditions, the right attention, the right moment. You pause at a particular entry, written just last week, a description of the way rain sounds different on different surfaces, on stone, on wood, on glass, on leaves. The words seem to resonate with the gentle percussion currently filling your apartment, and you feel a story beginning to stir, like a plant pushing through soil towards sunlight. You set the notebook aside, not wanting to force anything, knowing that the best stories come when they're ready, when the words are ripe and ready to fall from the tree of imagination. You learned long ago that writing cannot be rushed, that creativity follows its own schedule, its own mysterious timetable. The desk drawer slides open with a soft whisper, revealing your collection of writing implements. Pencils of various hardnesses, erasers worn smooth by use, paper clips that have held countless manuscripts together, rubber bands that have bound finished chapters, all the small tools of the writer's trade. Each item has its purpose, its place in the process, its role in the transformation of thought into story. You select a soft pencil, 2B, perfect for those moments when words need to flow more organically than a typewriter allows. You sharpen it slowly, enjoying the ritual, the way the wood shavings curl away from the blade, the way the graphite point emerges sharp and ready. The pencil sharpener is old, a simple hand-crank model that has served you faithfully for years, its brass housing worn smooth by countless hands. The sharpened pencil feels good in your hand, light and responsive, ready for those moments when ideas need to be captured quickly, when inspiration strikes like lightning and must be caught before it disappears. You set it beside the typewriter, within easy reach, another tool in the arsenal of creativity. You lean back in your chair, feeling it adjust to your weight, feeling the familiar support of its well-worn cushions. This chair has been your writing companion for years, has supported you through countless hours of work, has been witness to the birth of story after story. Its arms are worn smooth by your hands, its back shaped by your posture. It knows your body as well as you know it. The lamplight creates a warm circle around your workspace, and you feel the familiar sense of separation from the world outside. Within this circle, different rules apply. Time moves differently. The ordinary concerns of daily life fade away, replaced by the deeper rhythms of story and character, and the eternal dance between writer and word. You reach for your teacup, finding it still warm from your earlier preparation. The tea is a gentle blend, chamomile and lavender, chosen not for caffeine, but for its calming properties, its ability to quiet the mind and open the channels of creativity. You sip slowly, letting the warmth spread through your body, feeling the herbs work their subtle magic. The rain outside seems to approve of your preparations. It continues its gentle encouragement, its soft applause against the windows. You realize that this sound has become part of your creative process, that some of your best writing has been born from evenings just like this one, when the rain creates a natural boundary between the world of daily concerns and the inner world of imagination. You adjust your position in the chair, finding the perfect angle, the perfect distance from the desk. Your hands rest lightly on the typewriter keys, not pressing, just making contact, feeling the potential energy that waits beneath your fingertips. The machine is patient, ready, willing to translate whatever thoughts might emerge into the physical reality of words on paper. The mantel clock chimes softly, marking the passage of time with its gentle voice. But within your circle of lamplight, time seems different, more fluid, more forgiving. Minutes might pass like hours, or hours like minutes, depending on the flow of words, the rhythm of creation, the mysterious alchemy that transforms thought into story. You glance at the photograph on your desk, a small framed picture of your grandmother, the woman who first introduced you to the magic of words. She's seated in her garden, surrounded by flowers, a book open in her lap, her eyes bright with the intelligence and curiosity that she passed on to you. Her presence seems to bless your work, to remind you that writing is not just a profession, but a sacred trust, a way of preserving and sharing the human experience. The ink bottle sits beside the photograph, a small crystal container that catches and reflects the lamplight. The ink inside is like liquid night, dark and deep and full of potential. You unscrew the cap slowly, breathing in the faint metallic scent, the smell of words waiting to be born. This ink will carry your thoughts, your dreams, your stories out into the world, making them real, making them permanent. You dip the pen into the ink, watching as the nib fills with the dark liquid. A single drop falls back into the bottle, creating tiny ripples that spread outward. Like the way a single word can ripple through a story, changing everything, creating new possibilities, new meanings. You wipe the excess ink from the nib, preparing it for the work ahead. The blank page waits, patient and expectant, ready to receive whatever words might come. You hold the pen poised above the paper, feeling the weight of possibility, the infinite potential that exists in the space between thought and word, between intention and expression. This is the moment of magic, when the invisible becomes visible, when the internal world of imagination meets the external world of paper and ink. You close your eyes for a moment, listening to the rain, feeling the warmth of the lamp on your face, breathing in the scent of paper, and the evening stretches ahead like a blank page, full of potential, full of promise. You know that whatever words come tonight, they will be born from this perfect moment, this harmony of rain and lamplight and solitude. The desk lamp glows warmly, casting its gentle light on the waiting paper, and you feel ready, prepared, open to whatever story wants to tell itself through your pen. Your breathing deepens, becomes rhythmic, matches the gentle percussion of rain on windows. The lamplight seems to pulse gently with your heartbeat, and you feel yourself beginning to drift, not into sleep, but into that creative trance where the best writing happens, where the conscious mind steps aside and allows the deeper wisdom of the unconscious to flow through pen and ink onto waiting paper. The rain continues its soft lullaby, washing the world clean, making it fresh and new again. Within your circle of lamplight, surrounded by the tools of your trade, cradled in the familiar embrace of your writing chair, you feel completely at peace, completely present, completely ready for whatever magic the evening might bring. Your eyelids grow heavy, but not with sleep, with the gentle weight of concentration, of focus, of preparation. The rain whispers its ancient songs, and you feel yourself drifting, not into dreams, but into that liminal space where stories are born, where words wait like seeds in fertile soil, ready to sprout, ready to grow, ready to bloom into the full flower of narrative. You drift deeper into the creative trance, surrounded by the gentle sound of rain, warmed by the circle of lamplight, supported by the familiar embrace of your writing chair. The evening holds you gently, like a mother holding a sleeping child, and you sink deeper into the peaceful depths of creative readiness, where stories wait, and words gather, and magic prepares to unfold. Chapter 3. Memories Between the Pages. You find yourself drifting, not into sleep, but into that gentle space between waking and dreaming, where memories live. The rain continues its soft conversation with the windows, and the lamplight creates a warm cocoon around your writing desk. Your fingers rest lightly on the typewriter keys, but your mind wanders, drawn by the pull of remembrance. You reach for the small wooden box that sits on the corner of your desk, its surface worn smooth by years of handling. Inside, you keep the fragments of your writing life, letters from readers, photographs of literary events, small mementos that connect you to the journey that brought you here. You lift the lid slowly, breathing in the faint scent of old paper and dried lavender. The first item you touch is a letter, written on cream-colored paper in your grandmother's careful script. You unfold it gently, the paper crackling softly in the quiet room. Her words flow across the page like water, telling you about her garden, about the books she's reading, about the way morning light falls across her kitchen table. But between the lines, you can read her deeper message, her encouragement, her belief in your calling as a writer. You remember the day this letter arrived? 3 years ago now, when you were struggling with your second novel, when the words felt heavy and unwieldy, when you questioned whether you had anything worth saying. Her letter had arrived like a blessing, reminding you that writing is not just about perfect sentences or brilliant plots, but about connection, about reaching across the vast spaces between human hearts and saying, You are not alone. You set the letter aside gently and reach for a small photograph, black and white, slightly faded. It shows you at your first book signing, nervous and excited, surrounded by a small but enthusiastic crowd. You remember that day so clearly, the way your hands shook as you signed your name, the way your heart raced when someone said your book had moved them, the way you felt, for the first time, like a real writer. The photograph sits in your palm like a small window into the past, and you can almost hear the sounds of that day. The gentle murmur of conversation, the rustle of pages being turned, the scratch of pen on paper as you inscribed each book with care. You had practiced your signature for weeks, wanting it to be perfect, wanting to honor the trust that readers placed in you when they bought your book, when they invited your words into their lives. You remember the woman who bought 3 copies, one for herself, one for her daughter, one for her book club. She told you that your story had helped her through a difficult time, that your words had been like a light in the darkness. You had been so moved by her words that you could barely speak, could barely manage the simple thank you that seemed so inadequate for such a gift. The rain outside seems to echo these memories, each drop a moment from your past, each stream on the window glass a story that brought you to this moment. You realize that every writer carries this collection of memories, these fragments of connection, these small proofs that words matter, that stories have the power to change lives, to heal wounds, to build bridges between one human heart and another. You reach for another item in the box, a small notebook, its cover worn and soft from much handling. This was your first writing journal, the one you started when you were just 16, full of dreams and ambitions and the fierce certainty that you were meant to be a writer. You open it carefully, the pages yellow with age, the ink faded but still legible. The first entry is dated 15 years ago, written in your younger self's careful script. You read the words with a mixture of fondness and amazement, marveling at the earnestness, the raw passion, the absolute conviction that words could change the world. Your younger self had been so certain, so full of fire and determination, so ready to storm the gates of the literary world. You smile gently as you read, remembering the girl who wrote these words. The girl who stayed up late reading by flashlight, who filled notebook after notebook with stories and poems and fragments of ideas. She had been so hungry for words, so desperate to find her voice, so certain that she had something important to say. The entries chronicle your journey, from those first tentative stories to your first published piece, from rejection letters to acceptance letters, from doubt to confidence and back to doubt again. You can trace the evolution of your voice, the gradual refinement of your craft, the slow accumulation of skill and wisdom that comes only through practice, through persistence, through the willingness to fail and try again. Here, an entry about your first rejection letter, the way it felt like a physical blow, the way you cried for hours, the way you almost gave up. And here, just a few pages later, an entry about your first acceptance, the way you danced around your tiny apartment, the way you called everyone you knew, the way you felt like you could fly. You turn the pages slowly, each one a stepping stone on the path that led you here, to this apartment, to this desk, to this moment. The rain continues its gentle percussion, and you feel connected to that younger self, grateful for her persistence, her willingness to believe in the power of words even when the world seemed to discourage her. You reach for another photograph, this one showing you at a literary cafe, surrounded by other writers, all of you young and passionate and full of dreams. You remember that group, the way you would meet every Thursday evening, sharing your work, critiquing each other's pieces, supporting each other through the inevitable rejections and disappointments. There was Henri, who wrote poetry that made you weep, who could capture the essence of a moment in just a few perfectly chosen words. And Marie, who wrote stories about working-class women, stories that burned with indignation and love and fierce hope. And Paul, who wrote with such humor and warmth that even his saddest stories left you smiling. You wonder where they are now, these companions from your early writing days. Henri had shown such promise, his poems published in several small magazines. But then he had fallen in love and moved to the countryside, trading his pen for a plow, choosing love over literature. Marie had married a banker and moved to London, her revolutionary stories replaced by society columns and fashion reviews. Paul had become a journalist, his warm humor channeled into newspaper articles about politics and social issues. You don't judge their choices. You understand that life pulls us in different directions, that not everyone can make the sacrifices that a writing life requires. But you feel grateful that you were able to stay true to your calling, that you found a way to make words your life, your livelihood, your reason for being. The rain seems to whisper the names of all the writers you've known, all the dreamers who gathered in cafes and garrets, who believed in the power of words to change the world, who understood that writing is not just a profession, but a calling, a sacred trust, a way of bearing witness to the human experience. You reach for a small pressed flower, dried and fragile, saved between the pages of your journal. It's a violet, picked from the garden of your childhood home, pressed between the pages of your first completed story. You remember that story, about a young girl who could speak to flowers, who learned their secret language, who discovered that every bloom had a story to tell. The story had been rejected by every magazine you sent it to, but you had loved it anyway, had known that it was true, that it captured something essential about your relationship with the world. Your belief that everything has a story, that every moment contains the seeds of narrative, that the writer's job is simply to listen, to pay attention, to bear witness. You hold the pressed flower up to the lamplight, and it glows like stained glass, translucent and beautiful, a reminder of the girl who believed that flowers could speak, who trusted her imagination, who understood that the most important truths are often the ones that cannot be proven, only felt, only experienced, only shared through the magic of story. The rain continues its gentle song, and you feel surrounded by the presence of all the stories you've written, all the characters you've created, all the worlds you've brought to life through the simple act of putting words on paper. They seem to hover in the lamplight, waiting, patient, ready to be revisited, ready to be shared again. You think about your current work, the novel that sits half-finished in your desk drawer, the story that has been calling to you for months, demanding to be told. It's a story about memory, about the way the past shapes the present, about the power of small moments to change everything. You've been circling it like a cautious animal, afraid to commit, afraid to dive deep into the emotions it will require. But sitting here, and surrounded by the memories of your writing life, You feel ready, finally ready to face the story that has been waiting, that has been growing in the darkness like a seed in soil, ready to break through into the light. The rain seems to encourage you, to wash away your fears, to make you clean and ready for the work ahead. You close the journal gently, feeling the weight of all those years, all those words, all those dreams made real through persistence and faith. The memories seem to settle around you like a warm blanket, comforting and familiar, reminding you that you are part of something larger, part of the long tradition of writers who have sat at desks just like this one, listening to rain, waiting for words, trusting in the magic of story. You reach for another item in the box, a small brass key, tarnished with age but still beautiful. This key unlocked your first writing desk, a simple wooden table that your father had built for you when you announced your intention to become a writer. He had been skeptical, worried about your ability to make a living from words, but he had built the desk anyway, sanding it smooth, staining it dark, adding a small drawer where you could keep your most precious writings. The key feels warm in your palm, and you remember the ceremony of unlocking that desk each morning, the way it made your writing feel official, important, sacred. Your father had engraved your initials on the key, a small acknowledgement of your dream, a blessing in brass and steel. You set the key back in the box and reach for a small leather journal, different from the others, special. This one contains your favorite quotes, passages from books that moved you, words of wisdom from writers you admired, fragments of beauty that you collected like precious stones. You open it randomly, letting it fall open where it will. The page shows a quote from Colette, written in your careful script. The writer's true reward is not in the gold, but in the moment when the words flow like water, when the story tells itself, when the writer becomes merely the vessel through which the tale pours into the world. You smile, remembering when you first read those words, how they had struck you like lightning, how they had perfectly captured what you felt when you were writing well, when you were in that magical flow state where time disappeared, where the conscious mind stepped aside, where the story seemed to write itself through your willing hands. The rain outside seems to echo this wisdom, falling not because it chooses to, but because it must, because it is part of the larger cycle of water and sky and earth, just as you are part of the larger cycle of story and memory and human experience. You understand now that the best writing comes not from forcing, but from allowing, from becoming a clear channel through which the stories of the world can flow. You turn the page, finding another quote. This one from your grandmother's last letter. Writing is not about being perfect. It's about being true. The words that heal are not the prettiest words, but the most honest ones. Her words bring tears to your eyes because you know how true they are, how much courage it takes to write honestly, to strip away the pretense and the artifice, to stand naked in front of the reader, offering your truth, your vulnerability, your humanity. You remember the stories that have moved you most. They were never the cleverest ones, never the most elaborate, but the ones that felt most real, most true, most human. They were the stories that acknowledged pain without flinching, that celebrated joy without embarrassment, that captured the messy, complicated, beautiful reality of being human. The rain continues its gentle conversation with the windows, and you feel your grandmother's presence, her wisdom, her encouragement. She had been a writer too, in her way, filling journals with observations about her garden, about the changing seasons, about the small miracles of daily life. She had never published, had never sought fame, but she had understood the writer's calling, the need to bear witness, to pay attention, to transform experience into words. You close the quote journal and reach for the last item in the box, a small silver locket engraved with a quill pen. Inside is a tiny photograph of your first published story, cut from the magazine where it appeared, small and precious and perfect. You remember the day you saw it in print, how surreal it had felt, how you had bought 3 copies of the magazine, how you had stared at your name in print until your eyes blurred with tears. The locket had been a gift from your grandmother, given to you on the day your first story was published. Every writer needs a talisman, she had said, something to remind them that they are part of the great tradition, that their words matter, that their stories have the power to change the world. You fasten the locket around your neck, feeling its familiar weight, its gentle presence against your heart. It has been your companion through countless writing sessions, through moments of doubt and moments of triumph, through the long journey from dreamer to published author to working writer. The rain seems to approve, its gentle percussion creating a rhythm that matches your heartbeat, that syncs with the quiet ticking of the mantel clock, that harmonizes with the soft whisper of your breathing. Everything is in alignment. Everything is ready. Everything is prepared for the work ahead. You replace the items in the wooden box, each one a treasure, each one a reminder of the journey that brought you here. The box closes with a soft click, and you feel ready, finally ready, to move from memory into creation, from past into present, from remembering into writing. The lamplight seems brighter now, more focused, more purposeful. The blank page in your typewriter waits patiently, no longer intimidating, but welcoming, ready to receive whatever story wants to be told. You flex your fingers, feeling the joints loosen, feeling the creative energy begin to flow through your hands, through your arms, through your entire being. The rain outside has found its rhythm, steady and sure, a natural metronome for the work ahead. You close your eyes, breathe deeply, and feel yourself settling into that magical space where stories live, where they wait patiently for someone to give them voice, where the boundary between writer and story dissolves, where the magic happens. Your hands find the typewriter keys, and you begin to type, slowly at first, then with growing confidence, the words flowing like water, like rain, like the eternal stream of story that connects all human hearts, all human experiences, all human dreams. The memories that filled the wooden box have done their work. They have reminded you who you are, why you write, what matters most. Now they settle back into silence, content, supportive, ready to inspire again when needed. The rain continues its gentle song, and you lose yourself in the rhythm of words, in the dance of story, in the eternal conversation between writer and reader, between one human heart and another. The evening deepens around you, but within your circle of lamplight, time moves differently, more slowly, more gently. You write without forcing, without straining, allowing the story to tell itself through your willing hands, trusting in the process, trusting in the magic, trusting in the power of words to heal, to connect, to transform. The rain whispers its approval, and you feel blessed, grateful, ready for whatever story wants to emerge from the fertile darkness of imagination, ready to serve as vessel, as channel, as the bridge between the invisible world of story and the visible world of words on paper. Your eyelids grow heavy, not with sleep, but with the gentle weight of concentration, of creative focus, of complete absorption in the work at hand. The memories have blessed your writing, have given you permission to be honest, to be vulnerable, to be true. The rain continues its lullaby, and you drift deeper into the creative trance, where stories are born, where words flow like water, where magic lives. Chapter 4. Midnight Tea and Gentle Silence. The mantel clock chimes midnight, its gentle notes floating through the quiet apartment like silver bells. You pause in your typing, fingers hovering over the keys, and listen to the sound fade into the soft percussion of rain on windows. The night has deepened around you, but within your circle of lamplight, time feels suspended, eternal, perfect. You lean back in your chair, feeling the pleasant ache in your shoulders that comes from hours of good work. The story has been flowing, pouring onto the page like water from a pitcher, each word finding its perfect place, each sentence building on the last. You look at the growing stack of typed pages beside your typewriter, feeling the quiet satisfaction that comes from work well done. But your body is calling for rest, for nourishment, for the gentle ritual of midnight tea. You stand slowly, stretching your arms above your head, feeling your spine lengthen, your muscles release their tension. The wooden floor feels cool beneath your feet, grounding you, connecting you to the solid reality of your small apartment. You pad quietly to the kitchen, your footsteps barely whispering on the floorboards. The kitchen is small, but perfectly formed, everything within easy reach, everything exactly where it should be. The window above the sink looks out into the courtyard, where rain patters gently on the leaves of the old chestnut tree, where a few scattered windows glow warmly in the surrounding buildings. You light the gas burner under your kettle, the blue flame dancing like a tiny spirit in the darkness. The kettle is old copper, blackened with age, but still faithful, still ready to transform water into the perfect vehicle for tea. You fill it with fresh water from the tap, listening to the liquid music as it pours, feeling the weight increase in your hands. While the water heats, you select your tea with care. Tonight calls for something gentle, something that will soothe without stimulating, something that will complement the creative flow without interrupting it. You choose chamomile, dried flowers that still carry the memory of summer meadows, the scent of sunshine and peace. The tea tin opens with a soft pop, releasing the sweet, honey-like fragrance of the dried flowers. You measure a generous spoonful into your favorite teapot, a simple white porcelain piece that your grandmother gave you, its surface smooth and warm, its form perfect for the ritual of tea-making. The kettle begins to whisper, then to sing, the water molecules dancing with increasing energy, preparing for transformation. You listen to the music of heating water, a sound that has comforted countless generations of night workers, of writers and thinkers and dreamers who have found solace in the simple ritual of tea. When the water reaches the perfect temperature, just before the rolling boil, you pour it over the chamomile flowers. watching them dance and swirl in the hot water, watching their essence begin to seep into the liquid, transforming it from mere water into something magical, something healing, something perfect for this quiet hour. You cover the teapot with a small towel, wrapping it gently, creating a warm cocoon where the tea can steep properly, where the flowers can release their full essence, where patience is rewarded with perfection. The waiting is part of the ritual, part of the meditation, part of the gentle transition from work to rest. You return to your desk, settling back into your chair, but not resuming your typing. Instead, you simply sit, listening to the rain, watching the lamplight play across the surface of your desk, feeling the quiet contentment that comes from a night of good work, from words well chosen, from stories faithfully told. The apartment seems to breathe around you, expanding and contracting with the rhythm of your own breathing, with the gentle pulse of the rain, with the quiet heartbeat of the night. You realize that this is happiness, this moment, this perfect alignment of purpose and peace, of solitude and connection, of work and rest. The tea is ready now. You can feel it, can sense that perfect moment when the brewing is complete, when the flowers have given their all, when the liquid has been transformed into something greater than the sum of its parts. You return to the kitchen, moving slowly, savoring each step, each moment, each breath. You pour the tea into your favorite cup, the one with the tiny painted roses, the one that fits perfectly in your hands, the one that has been companion to countless midnight writing sessions. The tea is golden, clear, beautiful, its surface reflecting the kitchen light like a small mirror, like a window into tranquility. You add a small spoonful of honey, local honey from the market, thick and amber and sweet with the essence of Parisian flowers. The honey dissolves slowly, creating tiny spirals of sweetness, transforming the tea from herbal to magical, from simple to perfect. You carry the cup back to your desk, cradling it in both hands, feeling its warmth seep through the porcelain, through your palms, through your whole body. The first sip is perfect, warm but not hot, sweet but not cloying, soothing in a way that goes beyond mere flavor, beyond mere sensation. You sit back in your chair, cup cradled in your hands, and look out at the rain-softened night. The street lamps create pools of golden light, and you can see the occasional figure hurrying through the rain, their umbrellas glistening, their footsteps echoing off the wet stones. Each person carries their own story, their own dreams, their own midnight thoughts. You wonder about their stories, about the lives being lived behind the glowing windows, about the dreams being dreamed, the hopes being hoped, the fears being faced. A writer's mind is always working, always observing, always collecting the small details that make up the vast tapestry of human experience. The tea continues to work its gentle magic, relaxing your shoulders, calming your mind, preparing your body for the transition from work to rest. You sip slowly, making each mouthful a meditation, a moment of complete presence, complete awareness, complete gratitude. The rain has found its deepest rhythm now, steady and sure, a natural white noise that seems to wash away the harsh edges of the day, the small worries and tensions that accumulate like dust on furniture. You feel yourself being cleansed, renewed, made ready for whatever tomorrow might bring. You think about the story you've been writing, the characters who have come to life under your fingers, the world you've been building word by word, sentence by sentence. They feel real to you now, as real as the rain on the windows, as real as the tea in your cup, as real as your own heartbeat. This is the mystery of writing. The way fictional characters become more than mere constructions of language. The way they begin to breathe, to move, to make decisions that surprise even their creator. You've learned to trust this process, to step back and let the story tell itself, to become a channel rather than a controller. The tea is nearly finished now, just a few golden drops remaining in the bottom of the cup. You swirl them gently, watching them catch the lamplight, thinking about the flowers that gave their essence to create this moment of peace, this perfect pause in the midst of creative work. You set the cup aside, feeling refreshed, renewed, ready to return to your writing or to rest, whatever the night requires. The rain continues its gentle conversation with the windows, and you feel surrounded by peace, by purpose, by the quiet contentment that comes from living in alignment with your deepest calling. The apartment seems to glow with warmth and welcome, every corner filled with the gentle presence of books and memories and dreams made real. This is your sanctuary, your creative space, your home in the deepest sense of the word. Here you are safe, here you are free. Here you are exactly who you are meant to be. You stretch gently, feeling your body prepare for the next phase of the evening, whether that's more writing or the gentle transition towards sleep. The tea has done its work, has created the perfect bridge between the intensity of creative work and the softness of rest, between the public world of published words and the private world of dreams and renewal. The rain whispers its approval, and you feel blessed, grateful for this quiet life, this simple apartment, this desk where words are born, this cup that holds the essence of flowers, this night that stretches ahead like an unwritten page, full of possibility, full of promise, full of the gentle magic that lives in the spaces between words. You close your eyes, breathe deeply, and feel yourself settling into that perfect state of creative rest, where the body relaxes but the mind remains gently alert, where inspiration can strike like lightning, where the best ideas often come, not when you're straining to find them, but when you're simply, quietly, peacefully present. The silence is complete now, broken only by the gentle rain, the soft ticking of the clock, the barely audible whisper of your own breathing. This is the silence that writers know, the fertile silence, the pregnant pause, the moment before the word, before the story, before the magic. You feel yourself drifting, not toward sleep, but toward that liminal space where creativity lives, where stories wait patiently in the darkness, where the next word, the next sentence, the next chapter gathers itself like rain and clouds, ready to fall, ready to nourish, ready to transform the blank page into something beautiful, something true, something necessary. The night holds you gently, like a mother holding a sleeping child, and you rest peacefully, completely in the arms of silence, in the embrace of solitude, in the perfect quiet of your midnight sanctuary, where words are born, where stories live, where dreams take wing on the gentle currents of imagination. Your eyelids grow heavy, not with sleep, but with the gentle weight of perfect contentment, of creative fulfillment, of deep peace. The rain continues its lullaby, and you drift deeper into the creative silence, where inspiration gathers, where stories ripen, where the magic of words waits patiently for the perfect moment to bloom. Chapter 5. Falling Asleep with Unfinished Pages. The clock strikes 1, its gentle chime floating through the quiet apartment like a whispered prayer. You've been writing for hours now, the story flowing from your fingers like water from a spring, each word finding its perfect place, each sentence building towards something beautiful, something true, something necessary. But your body is growing tired, your eyelids heavy with the weight of the deep night. The rain has softened to the merest whisper against the windows, a gentle percussion that seems to come from very far away, like the sound of your own heartbeat, like the rhythm of your own breathing, like the eternal pulse of life itself. You look at the pages scattered across your desk, some finished, some half-finished, some bearing only a few lines of text. The story is not complete, may never be complete, but it is alive, breathing, growing, becoming something more than the sum of its words. You feel the quiet satisfaction that comes from honest work, from words faithfully recorded, from stories given voice. The lamp glows warmly beside you, its circle of light creating a sacred space in the gentle darkness. Within this circle, you have created worlds, given birth to characters, explored the deepest mysteries of the human heart. The light seems to pulse gently, like a heartbeat, like a breath, like the rhythm of inspiration itself. You roll a fresh sheet of paper into the typewriter, not because you plan to write more, but because you like the way it looks, the way it represents possibility, the way it reminds you that there will always be more stories to tell, more words to discover, more magic to create. The blank page is not a burden, it is a gift, a doorway, a promise. The teacup sits empty beside you, its porcelain surface still warm from the last drops of chamomile tea. The honey has left a faint sweetness on your tongue, a gentle reminder of the small rituals that make the writer's life sacred, that transform the ordinary act of sitting at a desk into something approaching meditation, something approaching prayer. You lean back in your chair, feeling it adjust to your weight, feeling the familiar support of its worn cushions. This chair has been witness to countless stories, countless late nights, countless moments of inspiration and struggle. It knows your body as well as you know it, supports you without judgment, waits patiently through every pause, every hesitation, every moment of doubt. The apartment breathes around you, expanding and contracting with the rhythm of the rain, with the gentle pulse of your own breathing, with the quiet heartbeat of the night. You realize that this is home, not just the physical space, but this feeling, this sense of belonging, this perfect alignment of purpose and peace. You think about the characters you've created tonight, the world you've built word by word, sentence by sentence. They feel real to you now, as real as the rain on the windows, as real as the lamplight on your desk, as real as your own hopes and dreams. This is the miracle of writing, the way fiction becomes truth, the way imagination becomes reality, the way words become worlds. The rain continues its gentle conversation with the windows, each drop a word, each stream a sentence, each pattern a story. You listen not just to the sound, but to the rhythm, the way it creates natural pauses, natural emphases, like a master storyteller who knows exactly when to speak and when to let silence carry the meaning. You close your eyes, just for a moment, and feel yourself drifting, not toward sleep, but toward that liminal space where creativity lives, where stories wait patiently in the darkness, where the next word, the next sentence, the next chapter gathers itself like rain and clouds, ready to fall, ready to nourish, ready to transform. The unfinished pages on your desk seem to whisper, not urgently, but gently, reminding you that they will wait, that stories are patient, that the best words come when they're ready, when the writer is ready, when the moment is perfect. You've learned not to force the process, not to strain against the natural rhythm of creation, but to trust, to wait, to listen. Your breathing deepens, becomes rhythmic, matches the gentle percussion of rain on windows. The lamplight seems to pulse gently with your heartbeat, and you feel yourself beginning to drift, not into sleep, but into that creative trance where the best writing happens, where the conscious mind steps aside, where the deeper wisdom of the unconscious flows through willing hands onto waiting paper. You think about all the writers who have sat at desks like this one, in rooms like this one, listening to rain like this rain, waiting for words like these words. You are part of something larger, part of the great tradition, part of the eternal conversation between writer and reader, between one human heart and another. The photograph of your grandmother smiles at you from the desk, her eyes bright with the intelligence and curiosity that she passed on to you. Her presence seems to bless your work, to remind you that writing is not just a profession, but a sacred trust, a way of preserving and sharing the human experience, a way of saying to the world, this happened, this mattered, this was real. The fountain pen lies beside the typewriter, its gold nib catching the lamplight, ready for those moments when words need to flow more organically, when inspiration strikes like lightning and must be caught before it disappears. The ink is dark and deep, like midnight skies, like the spaces between words where meaning lives, like the fertile darkness from which all stories emerge. You reach for the pen, not to write, but simply to hold it, to feel its weight, its balance, its readiness. The pen has been your companion for years, has faithfully translated your thoughts into words, has never failed you, has always been ready when inspiration struck. You set it down gently, like a blessing, like a prayer, like a promise. The mantel clock ticks softly, marking the passage of time with its gentle voice. But within your circle of lamplight, time moves differently, more slowly, more gently. Minutes might pass like hours, or hours like minutes, depending on the flow of words, the rhythm of creation, the mysterious alchemy that transforms thought into story. You feel your eyelids growing heavy, not with exhaustion, but with the gentle weight of contentment, of creative fulfillment, of deep peace. The rain continues its lullaby, washing the world clean, making it fresh and new again. Tomorrow will bring its own challenges, its own opportunities, but tonight has been perfect, complete, exactly as it should be. The unfinished pages on your desk seem to glow in the lamplight, pregnant with possibility, full of the words that will come, the stories that will unfold, the magic that will emerge when the time is right. You feel no urgency, No pressure, no need to force completion. The story will tell itself when it's ready. The words will come when they're ripe. The ending will reveal itself when the moment is perfect. You adjust the lampshade slightly, softening the light, creating a more gentle glow. The circle of illumination seems to expand, to embrace the entire desk, the entire corner of the room, the entire space where words are born. You feel surrounded by peace, by purpose, by the quiet satisfaction that comes from work well done, from words faithfully recorded, from stories given voice. The rain whispers its approval, and you feel blessed. Grateful for this quiet life, this simple apartment, this desk where words are born, this night that has given you so much, this story that waits patiently for completion, this moment of perfect peace in the gentle darkness. You close your eyes, breathe deeply, and feel yourself settling into that perfect state of creative rest, where the body relaxes, but the mind remains gently alert, where inspiration can strike like lightning, where the best ideas often come, not when you're straining to find them, but when you're simply, quietly, peacefully present. The silence is complete now, broken only by the gentle rain, the soft ticking of the clock, the barely audible whisper of your own breathing. This is the silence that writers know, the fertile silence, the pregnant pause, the moment before the word, before the story, before the magic. Your head begins to nod, just slightly, as sleep begins to call to you, gentle and patient, like an old friend, like a mother's lullaby, like the promise of dreams. You don't resist, don't fight the pull, but allow yourself to drift, to float, to surrender to the gentle current that carries you toward rest. The pages on your desk seem to shimmer in the lamplight, alive with possibility, breathing with the rhythm of unwritten words, pulsing with the heartbeat of unfinished stories. They will wait, patient and faithful, ready to receive whatever words tomorrow might bring, whatever inspiration the new day might offer. You feel yourself sinking deeper into the chair, your body relaxing completely, your mind quieting, your breathing slowing to match the gentle rhythm of the rain. The apartment seems to wrap around you like a warm blanket, protective and nurturing, holding you safe while you rest, while you dream, while you prepare for the words that will come. The lamp continues to glow beside you, its warm light creating a gentle aureole around your sleeping form, around the desk where words are born, around the pages that wait patiently for completion. The light seems to pulse gently, like a heartbeat, like a breath, like the eternal rhythm of creation itself. Your eyelids grow heavy, impossibly heavy, weighted with the sweet burden of approaching sleep. The rain continues its gentle lullaby, washing the world clean, making it fresh and new again, preparing it for the stories that will be told, the words that will be written, the magic that will unfold. You drift deeper into the peaceful darkness where stories wait like seeds in fertile soil, where words gather like rain in clouds, where inspiration sleeps peacefully, ready to wake, ready to bloom, ready to transform the blank page into something beautiful, something true, something necessary. The night holds you gently, like a mother holding a sleeping child, and you rest peacefully, completely, in the arms of silence, in the embrace of solitude, in the perfect quiet of your midnight sanctuary, where words are born, where stories live, where dreams take wing on the gentle currents of imagination. Your breathing deepens, becomes rhythmic, matches the gentle percussion of rain on windows. The unfinished pages on your desk seem to breathe with you, alive with possibility, pregnant with the words that will come, the stories that will unfold, the magic that waits patiently in the darkness. You sleep, but not deeply, not completely, hovering in that liminal space between waking and dreaming, where the best stories are born, where inspiration strikes like lightning, where the conscious mind steps aside and allows the deeper wisdom of the unconscious to flow. To create, to dream, the rain whispers its ancient songs, and you drift deeper into the creative darkness, where stories wait patiently for someone to give them voice, where words gather like dewdrops on morning grass, where the magic of language sleeps peacefully, ready to wake, ready to bloom, ready to transform the world, one word at a time. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the night breeze hums softly through the gentle rain. You drift like a leaf on a peaceful stream, carried by the soft currents of creativity toward the quiet shores of dreams. The unfinished pages whisper their patient songs, and you drift into a deep, restful sleep, where stories are born, where words take flight, where the magic of imagination lives eternal, in the gentle darkness, in the creative silence, in the perfect peace of the writer's dreams.